Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage podcast, episode 212. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello, sir.
Hello there. Hello, listener, viewer.
Viewer, listener, e pluribum.
And hello, patrons.
Thank
you.
you.
Get an extra hello.
We actually have a few at this point, and Tom used to be a physical patron. I think he called it back in 2019, where he
Now he's
just
a real
gave
one?
us some cash. I don't think he's a real one yet, but I'll still give him a shout out. He's back from Florida.
Yes,
so
he is.
The neighbor making noise is back, and we have Jana with us, and you also brought somebody else.
Yes, I brought Lucifer, my cat.
He's such an adorable boy.
Let's see,
I would
let me-
highly recommend, if you were on the audio version, just go ahead and close it and open the video version from YouTube, episode 212.
1 second. Oh, good God.
It's fine.
Trying to see if I can get him to start purring.
This is well worth it.
No, well, he didn't want to make any noise. He usually purrs on command, but he's just very excited. He's got a new place.
He really likes the bathroom here.
He loves your bathroom. He is. I wasn't lying when I said he's 1 stone. He's 14 pounds and he's not fat. Like, he's just big.
He's chonky. I mean, like, the
He's a
size of his
huge-
paws and his skull is
He's
like...
just a big ass dude.
He's just a huge kitty. I love him.
I think he's part Maine Coon.
I think so, too. No coloration, but he's definitely the size of a coon. He's got a little shorter fur, which I like.
Yeah, it's really nice. The shortness of his fur is really nice. This is, like, he's technically a long hair, but I'm like, man, barely.
Yeah.
He's definitely a medium
He's
hair.
a medium
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, his name's Lucifer after the cat in Cinderella. We did not come up with that name ourselves.
No, I wanted to name him Herschel, but it did not stick.
It's like Herschel's own mayonnaise or something. I could just see him doing that. Anyway, before we get into topics, briefly, patreon.com/carbitrage. On this content support website, you will find 2 open-ended levels that you, the content consumer, can give to us, the content producer. Patreon.com/carbitrage. It just is a way for you to directly, without any massive fees, buy us a beer, essentially. And lets you submit topics for the show. If you have a Discord account, it will automatically add you to our Discord, which is getting better and better all the time. I'm not just saying that, but it's the only one that I spend time in. Yeah, patreon.com/carbitrage. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Heineken.
Is it skunked?
It's Heineken, you can't tell.
Okay, cool. I have a Tall Boy Northeast, which was the last one, but our sound man, Corey, just came back with a large load of beer.
Yeah, I don't see any tall boys. I see Coors Light, and I see Stella Artois, and I see... those are tall boys. Okay.
Tall's Boy?
And then I also see a Castle Danger Cream Ale, which is...
Yep.
That is
Saucy.
one of the best beers in Minnesota.
It is, and they're going through their growler shit. We should probably talk about that at some point, but it's not really a car topic.
Well, we talk about beer every now and then.
True.
How about this? Let's talk about the next episode, so our listeners will listen in a week from now.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll work for me. All right, leading
Let's
right
jump
into
in.
topics.
Yeah.
So since we last recorded, April Fool's Day has come and gone.
Yes, it did.
And not only did that happen, the day that comes before April Fool's Day, which has no significance for anyone in the entire world except for Volkswagen, apparently, passed as well. And on that day,
Yes, it did.
the day before April Fool's Day, they posted that they were changing their U.S. name to Volkswagen, Voltswagen.
Yeah.
Officially on their website.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything contradicting it. And on April Fool's Day, they said, haha, JK. I'm like, wow. Really?
Yeah. So, what happened here was there's an intern that was in charge, and they mixed up the date line
Okay.
between Germany and the United States. So, trying to have that post
Oh,
first
I
thing in the
see.
morning on April Fool's Day, but they had the intern do it.
That didn't work.
Well, it created a huge problem because now the SEC is looking into them for for manipulating their stock because they had like a huge stock crash like when that happened. Like now they're in actual legal trouble. It's pretty
Good.
funny. Like
Good.
First time I heard about this was on Marketplace on April Fool's. I'm like, no. And I like looked at it, I'm like, oh my god.
Scott
that
sent me
really
the
happened.
link. I'm like, this is on Volkswagen's actual site.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, maybe it's an IHOB thing, you know? Or they rebranded for a day or two as International House of Burgers
Gross.
just to try to get some notoriety. But either way, I wanted to talk about it when I thought it was real. Now that I know it's a sham, I'm just like, well, fuck you. That's my one F-bomb. just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna use it right now.
So
right then and there.
For Japanese nostalgia car, our April Fool's thing was that Toyota makes NFTs for all their classic designs.
Okay.
Like that was the whole thing. It's like you can spend like $1 million on a Camry. But I also had some other ones that just because like April Fool's Day snuck up on us.
Did you yourself do one?
Well, no, I was going to, but it just snuck up on us too fast.
Sure.
So my two ideas were either the new Z car gets a 2+2 variant based off the highly sought after S30 2+2, which is like the least desirable Japanese car in history, and one of the biggest like beautiful versions of a two-door car and like worst adaptation of a 2+2.
Perfect.
Ever. It's really bad. And then Ben's like, that will take Photoshop skills I don't have, and I'm like, I have them, but I do not have time. I said, how about this? Why don't we go off of Volkswagen and say that Mitsubishi is changing their name to Mitsubishi, and they're pledging to turbocharge all of their models. And he's like, I would do that if I wasn't 45 minutes into making the NFT one.
All right.
So
bad timing.
Yeah, it's all bad timing. But the NFT one's still pretty funny because Ben actually like went to some effort to make it look like it was a real thing.
Sure.
And
it pays dividends.
We always do our fake links and stuff. It's really funny.
I did for April Fool's. I made a fake Bring a Trailer ad for my 850, which was so good apparently that it fooled you.
It did, because there was a red 850 that was modified that went live, and like when I saw it on the side thing, I saw your ad, and I'm like, yeah, it's a joke. And I actually started going, wait a minute, what? And then I clicked on it, and after I texted you, I'm like, oh, it's got an M badge on it and coilovers. Like, all right, so
I watched that one. That one sold for $32,000, and it was in worse condition.
Yes, it was. I saw that
same
from
mileage. I'm like,
first picture. I'm like, yeah, that car is kind of.
It was a little clapped, but still, I mean, nice. What you doing, Lucy? Hey, buddy.
Lucy's just exploring. He wants to hang out and see what's going on.
But no, I actually took portions of a past 92 850i that had sold.
Yeah.
For like the caption and everything. I took the sidebar from my black M3 ad because it actually had my username and stuff like that on it, and then I tried to find the font, which wasn't even that close for the actual body.
You should have texted me, because I would have totally just like taken one of my active listings and real quick changed the title to be yours, screenshot it, and sent it over to you. It would have been perfect.
I think I did this on the 31st, and then I had gotten vaccinated that day too, and I was just gone on April Fool's Day. Like, I was in bed all day.
I've been actively trying to get vaccinated, and because I'm a healthy white male in his early 30s that works from home, I cannot.
I lucked out.
I'm the last person on Earth that gets vaccinated.
Yeah, I was scheduled to get it in June or July, and a coworker's like, hey, so if you come to this address right now, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
So I got that done with. It was, like I said, I was really out of it the next day, but I'm happy I finally got my little card. I made it to the other side.
You should get that little, the Fifth Element card.
The multi-pass thing,
yeah,
that is cool. But I'd have to paint it.
No.
Because, like, that was plain white, and the multi-pass is gray with, like, a little yellow circle in it.
Oh, that's a good point.
But it would be fucking bad.
It'd be really good. It'd be really funny, especially if you have to start carrying it around. You don't want the card to get all beat up.
If I had a 3D printer, man, I would print the STL, but I don't.
I thought you had one.
I did. I gave it to a coworker.
Why'd you do that?
I couldn't make it work properly with my STLs. It would do its own demo files fine, but it wouldn't run mine.
The things you want to make.
The things, yeah, that I actually bought it for, couldn't do it. It would just immediately prep the head, and then it would just jam it into the build platform.
Me and Jan are actually at this store called Dreamer's Vault, which is like a nerd store for like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and stuff and comic books.
Like an old Shinders?
Yeah, it kind of, but like cooler. And Jana got like a giant like stuffed D20 dice.
Okay.
But they had a 3D printed dice tower that was for sale there. It was really rad, and like if it wasn't stupidly expensive, it was like $50, right?
Ooh.
I'm like, it's really cool, and there's a lot of detail put into it, and like they use like a really nice like metallic medium like for the plastic, so it is like really shiny and cool looking. But just one of those things, right? It was a stupid purchase. I'm like, I'm not even playing D&D right now because of the virus, so like it wouldn't make sense to buy right now.
Yeah.
But if I do start another D&D
shop with
campaign,
your heart.
Yeah, if I do another D&D campaign, I will absolutely be buying a 3D printed dice tower, and it looks like a giant castle. Like it looks like Castle Grayskull. It's pretty rad.
When I have money again someday, maybe after paying taxes and everything, I do plan to buy a 3D printer again, like a big one, so I can actually like do prototype flanges and stuff like that. But there are so many, and it's so hard to know what to buy.
Yeah,
Because the software matters more than the actual printer.
Yeah, and some of the printers always suck, and some are fine.
So I've heard like the Ender series printers are really good, and I've heard like Ultimakers are good. So I don't know. If you guys are listening right now, please go to the Carbitrage Facebook and tell me what to buy. I would love to have like a 12-inch cube build volume at least.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So anyway.
So I want to talk about photos people take of their cars.
Okay.
So I'm sure everybody's seen this photo where somebody takes a photo of their car and they have like all the doors and the hood and the trunk open.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is with people doing that?
I think that's. I don't want to always. Oh hey buddy. I don't want to always point the finger at boomers, but that's one of those things where like they got their ladder out of the garage, they parked their Camaro in the driveway,
and they open everything.
And they open everything, and then they take like a top-down picture with their Polaroid.
Yeah, well, it's like I think like they must have done that back in the '60s. Like, look at all this.
I feel
these
like it's an
doors
old
that you have.
car magazine shot or something.
It is,
like that.
but I mean, and that makes sense. Like an old car magazine where it's like I want to see how this trunk opens up. Where it's like every car in the world's trunk opens up the same. It does not matter anymore.
It's a trunk.
It's a trunk.
Newsflash.
Yeah. Also, it's a collector car. Like nobody's gonna put anything in the trunk. So,
I wish there was a cat here all the time.
I don't know. He's pretty great. I can just bring him. But
Such a good boy.
He loves being new places. So
I can tell.
I can totally just bring him places. But like at a branch yard, I've had like several listings where people have had one reasonable exterior photo, and every other exterior photo they have the doors open.
Okay.
And I'm like, nope, you got to reshoot your whole car. I'll see you in a week. Like, it just like slows down my entire life. But it's so irritating for that because like nobody asks for those photos ever. Nobody's ever wanted a photo with every door open.
No, it's like maybe 8 to 10 exterior surround photos, like a roof photo, underbody, and interior. Like
I tell people for their exterior photos, step back about 10 feet from your car, start at the front of the car, point your camera at it, click, walk a couple of feet, and then walk all the way around the perimeter of the car like a clock, taking snaps every couple of paces.
Yep.
And then if you have several similar photos, I would rather have to sift through a bunch of similar photos than have 3 photos where 2 of them have the doors open, and now it slows down everybody's life. And then like,
and who thinks it looks good? Like
it doesn't look good, but like my theory is, this is my theory.
Is it a theory or a hypothesis?
It's a theory because I haven't been able to test it.
Okay.
My theory is.
Appreciate the response.
Yes, my theory is that people do it to show that everything works. Like, yes, I do in fact have opening doors.
Look at these dome lights.
They don't even do that.
Oh.
They just open the doors, and it's like the only time that an every door, trunk lid, and hood like photo is open is if it's like a late 80s Volkswagen where they had like a legitimate problem with their door handles breaking.
Okay.
Like, that is the only time.
Or like a 92 Camry.
Well, because in the Camry you can see it from the outside. With the
True.
Volkswagen,
True.
it's the internal box for the latch that breaks. So it's like, yeah, okay, I can get that. Like maybe the right rear door doesn't open. Maybe the driver's door just swings open when you're driving.
Right, but you could do that in your walk-around video.
Yeah, but you don't need to do that like in your main list. And also, I'm not ever in my life going to ever put one of those as one of the lead photos. Not a chance.
No.
And people ask for that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They want doors open photos as this. Okay.
Yeah, I also get people that, like, I had a guy put up a fight about saying that the wheels are original to the car. I'm like, dude.
For what car?
It's good. Like an 83 RX-7.
Okay.
Like, dude, it doesn't matter if the wheels are original.
Yeah.
Just things like that. Like, it's one of those things where it's like...
It matters so much to somebody, but, like, it literally doesn't. Like,
Yeah,
trust me.
like,
it doesn't matter.
I do this as a living. Like following my lead, like, it's in my best interest to, like, have your car do well. And I do this literally every day. Mm-hmm. So I know what I'm doing here.
Have you seen a 78 Porsche 924 come across your docket yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But once it does,
asking
hopefully
for a
I get
friend.
it. Hopefully I get that
I
one.
was going to say, that one's just done, so.
Well, actually, I love riding, like, my favorite cars to ride are, like, stock Porsches. I love riding...
This one isn't stock, but it's a known quantity.
Any Jag, I love riding because it's just the best. Like, especially if it's a post-1978 Jag, like, I will write all of them. Because they all have the same transmission, they all have the same, like, interior, they're very simple, they have no options, they're great. They're never modified, ever, because it's a Jag. Like, I had one that was modified, I go, what? Like, I put, like, coilovers on it, like, like actually very nice like Bilstein coilovers. Like
How the hell is that made for that?
it was a for a later model XJ from like the
Okay.
late 90s.
Weird.
Yeah, he had done coilovers and sway bars, and otherwise left it really stock. It was an XJR, that's what it was.
Oh, cool.
But it was actually like a very cool car. I was really happy to write that one because I'm like, this is like exactly what I would do if I owned a Jag. Like,
Yeah, terrible vehicle, but like I appreciate that.
like this is like I love that a lot. I was actually telling my buddies over at the Stinky Nuggets meet. I was like, I kind of want to get a Jag because I know they use TH400s and I want to build one for a drag car. I think it'd be a really funny drag car. It's like an 80s Jaguar XJ LS that like a built TH400, so it can actually put down power, posi rear end, and it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but they have that weird like U-joint independent rear suspension crap. It's pretty strong, but
It is. They do have the higher torque ones. If you use the 12-cylinder,
yeah, extra.
yeah, the XJS, or even the XK V12, the
XK
X,
V12.
I think XK. What was their the 70s two-door? The one
That's an XJS, isn't it? No. Yeah.
it's XK.
No,
XK. That's XK.
no, XK started in 96, 95.
No, I'm pretty sure because they had the XKR.
Well, they had a
The
sedan
X-
and a big two-door. The XJS
Yeah, the big-
was
the
the
big
two-door,
two-door.
but the big sedan was offered at the V12 too.
No, the sedan was the XJ,
XJ, yes.
Yes.
XJS was the V12 coupe.
maybe. But anyway,
Think.
so
Either way, yes, they offered the V12 in both of those.
those have the better rear end. There's an optional limited slip differential if you got the XJS from the late 80s.
Cool.
So yeah,
That's what the Jaguar is, and it's got the V12 rear end. And
Yeah,
they
and I
haven't
would-
popped that yet.
I would love to do that with just a normal looking XJ. Like even better would be like an XJ Majestic, which is like a super nice looking one. with
Not a
like
Vandenpla?
No, it's better than a Vandenpla because it's got like, these headlight covers that like make the round
Oh, I
headlights look
hate
square.
those.
No, they actually look really cool. If you look up, just go on to Branch Rail real quick and type in
shit,
X
I just
Jaguar XJ.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you did the thing.
I said a second F-bomb doing this.
I guess I can't swear now.
Shoot.
Just do Control T,
Yeah, I'm doing it here.
and then yeah, just type in Jaguar XJ. It'll be one. Like it just closed last week.
The internet is so slow. This is not worth it.
But the XJ Majestic, they actually had a red car, like a maroon, like super like nice soft open pile carpet interior with like lamb's wool floor mats and like oatmeal leather seats with red piping on them. They are just 10 out of 10.
Maybe.
Yeah, you did. That's the XJ page, and that's actually the car. So those are the headlight covers I love.
I don't like those.
So it's got the cool headlight covers. It's got the color matched wheels. It's got the Vandenpla
Grill.
fluted grill.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a really dope car. So I'd like to do that with an LS swap. Would be
Yeah, I mean, this is like if you ever want to do a small block Chevy swap,
Yeah,
like,
this.
you would be doing yourself a disservice not using an old Jaguar XJ.
yeah, and then also so like all the drag strips in Minnesota are like way the hell out there. So I want something to be comfortable to drive in.
Oh, this is a 4-speed auto. Is that a 700R?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, that's I want them because they're actually like
No, 700Rs are 4L60s.
no
Super weak.
no it's a 4L80.
Not in an XJ6. No way.
Yeah, no, because they only did one transmission.
I would be shocked. I'm not gonna do
It's-
research on the
So
podcast, but
the 4-speed, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 3-speed with an overdrive gear.
like an external overdrive added on to
No,
it.
I, from what I understand, that's just an overdrive gear. That's all I know. I didn't actually look into it, but I do know it's a TH400 that's in these. Because they just use the one transmission, and it had special bell housing. So like you have to actually get a GM bell housing, but everything bolts up like with no effort. So that's how I want one.
I knew that was the case with the V12 cars, but that surprises me to no end, especially with a 4-speed and out of a later car. Nope, that's a ZF 4HP 22.
So that's all right. So that's also out of the 3.6.
Yeah, but it's an 89. So
Yeah,
that
but
was
the
only-
3.6 was a super low displacement one. That was like the fuel miser.
But there's no way they offered two different 4-speed autos in an XJ6.
They did. I'm telling you, they did because they also had the 4.2 inline 6 as well. The 3.6 was like the terrible engine that nobody wanted. It was a completely different architecture.
Wait, what engine was it? It wasn't the XK?
So they had 2 inline sixes. They had the 3.6, which was like for
God,
fuel economy and crap, and then they actually had the 4.2.
okay.
So yeah, they're really cool cars, and yeah, so you can get them with the GM transmission. You just don't want to get the terrible transmission. But anyway, I think it'd be a perfect drag platform because if you get one where like the air conditioning, everything works in it, you got the nice leather seats, you got the nice interior, all the sound deadening in it. I mean, with a big V8 with the extra couple of pounds won't matter. It'd be a perfect car. It'd be absolutely hilarious.
Well, the engines are certainly plenty cheap.
Yeah.
The small blocks, that is.
The small blocks are cheap.
Not
The
the
transmissions, the transmissions just bolt up.
We just won't talk about
Yeah, no. The transmissions, since Jag uses a different case, you have to actually use a GM transmission, but unlike other cars, everything just bolts up. You can even keep the J-gate shifter on it, too, which I think is hilarious.
it. Okay, so it uses a Ford C4 in the 4.2 cars, and the other ones use a 4HP 24ZF, and that went forward.
Okay, so it was right before that one then. So it was probably the pre-facelift 80s cars that had it.
Yeah, this is 82 to 85. It's a C4. Yeah. Oh my God, we'll have to do research on this. It's interesting, but not right now.
Yeah, but I will tell you for a fact that over 2/3 of Jags I've written have had the TH100 in them.
Well, yeah, most of them are V12s, aren't they?
No,
Or
most of them are 6s.
That's really surprising to me.
They,
The earlier ones, I believe, because there was just no other automatic transmission.
I think that's what it was.
But I wonder what the cutoff year was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the cutoff year was, but they did use those in the 6-cylinders, which I think is hilarious. It's such an overbuilt transmission.
Yeah, like even turbo 350s were sold on the V8s, and they're identical to a 400. But.
Yeah. But anyway, so.
All right. Look at this.
Wait. For an M117,
Yeah.
a manual conversion kit, what's the catch?
So I think I posted about I had to move the Blubzki to get the Fiat out, and then Alec posted, a friend locally, who has a M116 450 SLC 3.5 4-speed manual trans, and he's like, I turned down the car because it was so far gone, and I didn't want to pay $2,000 for a trans, and he's like, no, I mean the flywheel bolts on. I'm like, really? So I'm like, well, we just got a new CNC mill at work, so he offered to let me borrow the flywheel, and that just sent me on another Google. Like, I search at least once a year to the ends of the internet to make sure that nobody's done one yet, and I stumbled upon this, where somebody has done one. So I talked to these guys, and not only did they offer, it's a little over $2,000.
Worth it.
Yeah.
That's actually a really fair price.
They offered me a 10% off discount. They're like, I would love to plug it on the YouTube channel. They're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a discount code. But
you
anyway,
should totally do that. That's
I
totally
did.
worth it.
So we ordered it.
Excellent.
By we, I mean Scott, because I'm broke. But it uses a short shaft Mercedes 6-speed out of a C230. So I ordered, I found one. I haven't bought it yet, but they're $200 transmissions because C230s don't break, and when they do, nobody buys the parts.
Yeah.
So it looks like a fairly lightweight Getrag 6-speed, but I'm guessing it's actually a Mercedes-Benz trans. And the guy I talked to is like, I run one of those on my turbo M119 drift car, and I haven't broken it yet. I'm like,
Perfect.
oh, perfect. Should be fine. So anyway, that's on the way. It's supposed to ship end of week.
Also, turbo M119 drift car sounds hilarious. It sounds like the most expensive way to go sideways.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just like an easy thing to find in that country, and obviously places where LSs don't exist. But
so Kangaroo's team, so this is Australia?
No, this is like Estonia or some bullshit like that. But
okay, I guess that makes sense if it's like some weird, Eastern European country.
So I bought one with the organic clutch set, which is good up to 350 horsepower, which is about where Blubzki is. I didn't want to use their ceramic 6-pack.
I like that they put the little kangaroo logo on the floor.
Yep. No, I mean, they're super cool guys. I was talking
That's
to
awesome.
them. So I'm just hoping that the 6-speed fits in the tunnel, and it should, because it's a pretty dinky
You should
little
have told
transmission.
them to bring some Estonian beer for us to
Well,
try.
I don't know if you can ship that in the box. Either way, now I have this dilemma. I have another 722 350 sitting on a pallet in the other unit that I was going to put in Blubzki, And to put the 6-speed in, not only do I have to find wherever the clutch pedal went and all of the hydraulics, which I've lost for Blubzki.
I would keep the M117 in it.
I'm going to, but like the thing is, do I just like throw that other auto in there so I can use it this season and then do the manual next year?
I would do that. Yes.
Because I have to make a new drive shaft, I have to make new mounts, I've got to do all this
By the
other
way,
shit.
drive shaft, proven force.
They're good, but
Yeah.
they won't touch my shit. I have to use the
they
Noka
won't?
driveline.
Oh,
They
lame.
won't touch 2-piece drive shafts. Nobody will.
Oh, you're keeping it two-piece?
Yeah.
Why don't you make it one-piece?
No, it uses flex couplings on both sides.
Oh, okay.
So I've been using the stock rear half 240 and then a modified 560 front half.
You have fun with that.
It's been fine. That's the one part that hasn't broken.
I want to see Blubzki out more. You should bring it to Wendy's once you have it all done.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's just like it's
Even with the
fluid
auto.
at this point to put the auto in there, so I'll probably do that.
I would do that.
And I'm gonna pull the flex plate off and look at it because my coworker, the GM coworker, he's like, I bet your flex plate is cracked, and I bet that's flexing the torque converter and blowing up the front pump. I'm like,
Probably.
So I have another one because I still have
Just
the
in
other
case.
engine.
Yeah.
So if it is screwed, we might actually be able to make the auto last. And I don't know. I have no intention of keeping an auto in that car. He's agreed to finally sign the car over to me. So now that it's going to be mine, I need it to be a manual again.
Yes.
Like badly.
Well, also, I mean, I guess now would be a good time for you to swap an auto into it because you've just been doing auto transmission services nonstop for like the last week.
I can do a Blubzki auto swap in an hour.
And there you go. Just do that.
I'm going to, but I just don't have the money to put the manual in there right now. It's essentially it.
That's fair.
But
I understand the feeling.
That car is going to be very cool once
makes-
it's finally a stick again.
It's already very cool. I think even with the automatic, like with the automatic, you should bring that to the Wendy's meet because that car is hilarious and they will love it there.
Almost everyone loves that car more than I do.
Yeah, because you can't get off your high horse.
It's fine.
It's
I prefer my other cars.
yeah, but your other cars are like good.
Nah, Brexit's not. Brexit sucks.
Brexit is terrible. It is very undercooled.
It is. I need to just take the intercooler out of it, and then all the problems will be fine.
Or just put a bigger radiator into it.
No, it has a big radiator. There's just no airflow. The puller can't keep up.
You gotta put more fans in it, or
There's no room.
you gotta figure out a way.
There's no room. Trust me.
There's gotta be a way.
This doesn't fit. The thing I've done is just bad.
Yeah, you've done a bad
The thing I've done is just poorly. Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm gonna undo that. Brexit's gonna get a different powertrain at some point, or I'm gonna sell it.
I wouldn't. So
I don't need 3 E30s.
I want to play a game
Okay.
because this is something that's come up from time to time. I've seen several people talk about where you have two cars that share a name that are vastly different.
Oh no.
So this game is called There Can Only Be One.
Highlander!
Who is the true successor of the name? In our very first version of this game will be the Oldsmobile Silhouette versus the Lamborghini Silhouette.
I didn't know about the Lamborghini Silhouette.
So the Lamborghini Silhouette, if you click on it, because we know the Oldsmobile Silhouette. Well, that's the Oldsmobile. Yeah, I made this as simple as possible. It's
Yeah,
just
but
one
I'm also daft.
the Lamborghini Silhouette. I even got you a high resolution photo.
Nice. Oh,
Yes.
That's too high resolution.
It is too high of a resolution. You're
That
right.
looks like a Urraco.
It is in between the Urraco and the Yalpa.
Important cat update. He sees a chickadee on the porch and is very excited.
I see him.
Oh, buddy.
Very excited. Oh, he's like,
chirping at it.
Oh,
is-
you can
he-
see him on the video. He's just up here.
yes. He does chirp at birds. He replicates their noises.
Dude,
It's
cat
really
cackles
cute.
are adorable.
But anyway, so the Silhouette was in between the Urraco and the Yalpa, and it was available for like 2 years, and nobody bought it.
I was gonna say I've never heard of it, so
Yeah, it was completely the most forgotten Lamborghini. Surprisingly, not the cheapest Lamborghini.
Okay.
The Urraco is cheaper.
Well, all of those are non-running at this point.
Yeah.
So
But the Urraco's cheaper because this one is at least more rare.
okay.
So, it's a V8, rear-wheel drive, manual. It's the most forgettable Lamborghini. Very similar, but not quite the same as the one that Phil Collins drove in Miami Vice. So,
God, way to make me not care about something I otherwise did kind of care about. I hate Phil Collins.
now, if we go to the other Silhouette that everybody knows, the Oldsmobile Silhouette, which is once called the Cadillac of minivans.
We call it the rattle trap.
It's the Cadillac of minivans.
Oh, the
Also-
first gen Silhouette.
It's first gen Silhouette. We
I was thinking of the second gen.
No, that's the first gen. 3800 V6.
These were, I thought they were 3400s.
38.
Oh,
Yep, you can get with 3800. It has a 4T65
I believe that's correct. Yep.
transmission. It looks like a dustbuster.
And it has a, I believe, a notoriously rust-prone rear axle.
Yes, it does. Horrifically rust prone. However, very nice if you can find one in decent condition. That came in Europe, diesel and manual.
Yeah, not here. My grandfather bought one of these brand new, and I liked it when it was in, 91 when it was new.
Yeah.
But it's not a good vehicle.
They
anymore.
didn't age well. Well,
No.
neither of these aged well,
Well, that's true.
and neither of them are terribly reliable.
And none of them are still running.
Yeah, none of them are left. So which one is the real one? Now, also another celebrity endorsement of this car that you don't care about. This was driven by John Travolta in the movie Get Shorty,
Get smart.
Get Smart, I think. It was a mafia movie, but anyway, he
There
went to
is a movie called Get Smart. so
yeah, Get Smart, yeah, and so he was renting a car and he wanted to rent a big black Cadillac, and they or similar him into a black Silhouette.
I would have been fine with that at
And
the time.
the guy at the rental car store was like, yeah, it's a Cadillac of minivans. So, the Silhouette.
I mean,
The Cadillac of minivans.
this was, I mean, it wasn't that early on in minivans, but yeah, I mean, it was like the A-pillar, the windshield was incredible.
Really, really cool.
It was cool to be in.
It's a
but
cool vehicle. Get Shorty. It was Get Shorty.
Get
Thank
Shorty,
you.
okay.
Yes.
Not Get Smart. Okay.
So yeah, it was called Get Shorty. The windshield wipers were horrifically designed on this.
Yep. Yeah,
They're-
those were not obscured at all.
Not even attempted to be obscured.
Not rated for autobahn speed.
No, they didn't work well at high speed at all. I think they look cool. They have a lot of pop-out windows, which I like. I like pop-out windows.
Yeah, everyone. Well, I don't know. We are not from the rest of the world. The rest of the world hears Silhouette in vehicle, they might think of the Lamborghini, but I can guarantee in North America at least,
Which one's the
you
better
hear
Silhouette? though?
Well, probably the Lamborghini.
Is it really?
Well, those are still intact. They just don't run, and these
I
still
think
run, but
I-
the rear axle isn't
I
there anymore.
legitimately think they probably have the same 0 to 60 time.
Yeah,
They're probably just as fast.
probably.
They probably also Lamborghinis never at any point in time were performance vehicles.
No. Yeah, no.
I think that they're both terribly unreliable. None of them are running anymore.
Well, the 3.8's still running, but the rear axle's gone, so you
Yeah.
can't drive it.
It's running but not driving.
Correct. Whereas the Lamborghini
is driving but not running.
Correct.
Yeah. So
So what I think we have to do is put the 3800 in the other Silhouette.
Lamborghini, and then we have a running driving
Yep,
vehicle.
and then put the Lamborghini V8 in this, and then it'll just disintegrate.
Now, which one is the true Silhouette?
I'm going to say the minivan. I think the Oldsmobile is.
I think I'm gonna have to go with that as well. Jana, what do you think? The minivan or the Lamborghini?
I really like the Lamborghini, but this
Best
van
cheese
is
company.
so funny
Yeah, that's a great van.
because like, what car had like just such a significant part of it just rusts away?
Yeah, that's true. And also,
This is like the Windstar before the Windstar.
Yeah.
they both did the wedge-shaped vehicle, and I think this
Yeah.
one can fit at least 7 times more women than the Lamborghini.
We owned an actual Black & Decker dustbuster in the 90s that was this shape. Yeah, and it did not have any women in it, and nor did this.
No.
Did it rust?
I don't know. It had nickel cadmium batteries in it, so it didn't last long enough to
Oh,
rust.
no.
Yeah, remember those Chargers that just sort of never stopped?
Yeah.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
They're
Anyway,
just
I think
always
that-
charging.
Yes, it cooked the nickel metal hydride. Actually, no, nickel cadmium, sorry.
Also,
So,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that is a glass roof.
It might be.
Or it could be a Targa.
Might be like a Vista roof or something.
No, it could just be a Targa.
I don't see another seam with the windshield, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
This is just like GM quality welding here.
That's just a really gross seam weld.
Maybe in Europe they offered like a canvas top rear thing, and this was like
I
the
like to
structural
think
seam.
that that's just like a pop-up, like removable target top.
That would be
like
cool.
you have in a Supra or something, and then it's just it's
Why
a
didn't they
convertible.
do stuff like that? That would have made minivans cooler faster.
It totally would have, 100%. I'm happy that they're cool now. So, all right, I think that the Oldsmobile is the true
I think
Silhouette.
we've determined that the
Lamborghini.
unanimous consensus is...
Lamborghini lost to the Oldsmobile as the true successor of the name.
God, that's a lame roof.
Balls. Yeah, it is.
balls. Oh, it does have a lame roof, not even a sunroof.
Yeah.
God, the 90s. I would have known that you were the poor.
I feel like when your vehicle breaks down, oh man, actually, shoot, I might have to change my answer because I just think about both of these will break down, and when they break down, when you're in the Oldsmobile, everybody's gonna think that you do meth, whereas if you break down the Lamborghini,
Everyone's got to think you're James May.
yeah, that you're just some weird guy with an old Italian car.
Yeah, but nobody's going to talk to an eccentric old Italian car.
Nobody's
owner.
want to talk to a meth addict either.
Yeah, so they're on a level playing field, and the notoriety's better with the Oldsmobile.
I think I guess okay. We'll go with the Oldsmobile still. That is fair, regardless of what happens. Anyway, your turn.
Sorry. All right. I actually put this in due to the kind of a lack of actual news topics, but this was something that I thought about. I'm not sure if I talked to you. I think it was Scott earlier this week. But I'm like, it came to my mind, like, the first year that a company puts something out and it's just dog shit. And usually it stays bad, but sometimes they fix it. And then it turns into, like, wow, this was actually really good in hindsight. So I've got a list of stuff here.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you're
kind
right.
of run down, and it's like, this is one of those things where, like, I would never put it in as a topic, but since we were in conversation, I just started writing it down.
That's actually a really good point. Like, so we're talking about cars that started off terribly, and you just all you heard about were just bad stories of them,
And they fixed it.
and then it actually got fixed, like for real.
Like, for real. And not just like, oh, yeah, well, they updated it and it's not as bad. It's like, no, this was like, don't buy it, and now, like, do buy it.
So I guess like a good example. Let's take the first one off your list. Would be the ultimate version of this, which is the
Yep.
Volkswagen 2.5 5-cylinder.
That's the second thing on the list.
That is the second thing, but that's the one I think most people are going to know.
Yeah.
Where the first 2 years of the 5-cylinder Volkswagen, the timing chains would take a shit.
Just gone.
Yeah, and they're on the back side of the engine, so you have to remove the transmission to do them.
Super easy.
Horrible, horrible problem to have if you have like a 2006, 2007 Volkswagen Rabbit. But if you have a 2008 forward Volkswagen Rabbit or Jetta,
It will outlive time.
it will outlive the car by a lot because the cars will rust apart. But these later model 5-cylinders,
Dude, the
people-
late 2.5? Yeah. It's
people
like,
put them in drag racers and stuff. They hold power. They're a closed deck block. They're
that's what
absolutely
the
perfect.
RS3 engine's based on.
It's a perfectly balanced engine. It's a 5-cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great engine.
So,
and
anyway.
for me to say that, I never say Volkswagen. I will never.
The bar is not high for Volkswagen, but, like, yeah, I feel like if I'm recommending a VW to somebody, it's going to be a Mark 6 with a manual.
That's not just reliable by Volkswagen. That's just reliable by any car standards. Is
Yes.
what that is.
Yeah, you
and
can-
I will never give Volkswagen credit. I'm the worst person about giving them credit.
They probably had somebody else engineered for him. The fix.
Probably, yeah. It's probably a Yamaha engine or something.
I'm going to circle back to the first one, which is the Mercedes-Benz M272 V6. So that started in
Yes.
2005. It's their 3.5 liter.
Yeah, they had like
E350,
didn't they have, like, water
R350.
pumps or something. Just
It wasn't water pumps. They have a intermediate shaft that
Yes, that's what
drives
it was.
from the crank to the cams, and the chain that goes between the crank and the intermediate shaft was just made out of like Play-Doh. It was really, really bad. Same thing on the first year of the GL450 engine, but 2008, perfect. No issue. Those you can just pile miles on those. They last 200,000 plus miles, no problem. So Mercedes fixed that, but again, like that, I would never recommend that you go buy a pre-08 3.5 or 4.6, 4.7,
Yeah.
Mercedes with a 272 or a 273. But after that, like we had one on our GL. It was like thing, like no noise, no rattle at 200K. It's like okay, well it's perfect.
Here's another one that you don't actually have on your list, but I'm gonna actually
Well,
give
I'll
this.
add it so I can.
I will give this company credit. Subaru, the EJ engine, took them 30 years
Okay.
to figure it out, but they did figure it out.
That's true.
Because Subaru, they take 30 years designing an engine, and they will work out all of the kinks. And finally, like the 2016, 2017 EJ in the STI, perfectly fixed every problem with it. Of course, now they don't put in anything, but they did make it good. So,
Yeah, it took until after the FAFB
Yeah, but
and
they
then
did.
those had problems, and like someday those will be good too, and they might be now, but I don't think so.
It might be, but I don't have faith yet. But
Okay,
it's like the
that's-
Subaru, they didn't fix the exhaust noise because that's just part of the architecture of the fitting it into the car
It
at a
was-
reasonable price point.
Difficult listening to those at TX2K, but like there are some really fast
Yeah.
WRXs.
Well, to make them fast, you have to actually fix the exhaust noise because you run an equal length exhaust manifold and you just have a normal boxer engine, and that's what fixes it.
Yeah, it wasn't engine failures. We'll say
Yeah.
it was a lot of driveline
Yeah,
failures.
driveline failures. But the engine works.
The engine, yeah, the late EJ 205 or 257, I guess, in the STI is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, first year Fiat 500. I mean, early 2012, and this is something Scott sued Fiat for
Yes.
and won because they put Euro control arms, which you could not buy in America, in the first 6 months of Fiat 500s that were sold here at Barth and Sport and Pop and Lounge. Cast iron control arms.
Yeah.
Common from 2008 on, no problem in Europe. Here, can't buy them. And in order to fix a ball joint issue here in America at the time, you had to put in the steel control arms, which are a different geometry, which requires different knuckles and different axles.
Oh my God, no.
So you have to do both sides and all of that shit. So anyway, don't necessarily, you can get parts for it now. So I don't even want to like poo-poo a 2012 500 because aftermarket stepped in.
But their original design.
At the
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
like you were up a creek. Like you had to spend $1,800 to retrofit all this stuff, or you had to order a mystery arm from Europe from a non-crash tested whatever 500. So that was a really big issue on the 500s that actually didn't ever come to kind of public light.
Which is good because Fiat
Yeah.
did not need that press.
No,
and
and
I,
those
even
cars-
then I don't tell people about that.
Those cars are beautiful. So.
It's such a weird issue. So, but I mean, like that's the thing is like it had one problem and they worked on it and they fixed it. That's I have faith in Fiat. Yeah, that's
Well,
a
it's
very
they
bold
should have.
engine.
Yeah, it was an issue of like coming to market with a new brand because like the parts existed in the world, they just couldn't get them where it mattered.
Yes.
Next one, back to Mercedes, the M156, so the 63 AMG engine. The first year and a half of
Yeah.
those, the head bolts snap off.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Not good, and
No.
it's a big problem because you don't know what's happening necessarily,
And then it happens.
starts mixing oil and coolant, and then all of your bearings go away, and then you need a new M156.
That's a problem.
They're very expensive.
That's a very big problem.
So if you buy an 08 or an 09 63 anything, specifically an R63 because they're awesome, make sure that's been done because it's not that hard to do before they fail. You can do the one bolt at a time trick and it seems to work.
Actually, what you could do is you get them not done with super low miles.
Yeah, but you have to convince the person that it's a problem and they'll deny it.
Yeah, but if it's on branch roller and they say they didn't do it, it's like an IMS bearing on a boxer. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's not a problem, this guy didn't do it. That's going
Yep.
to dock
Yeah,
your
the-
total bid. Like,
It really will.
even doesn't
That's
matter
the
if it's
one
going to happen
way
or not. It
to
will,
get a deal on Bring a
yeah,
Trailer.
is you get a Porsche with low miles that that has not had the IMS bearing
A
done.
2000 production or later Porsche.
Actually, you know, another example I don't see out here is the E46 3 Series with the rod bearings.
That was always an issue. They never fixed
They
it.
never fixed that.
Nope.
Okay, so I wasn't sure.
Not only is it not fixed, N55s also have rod bearing issues.
So it's just always an issue.
Apparently N54s do too, but it's mainly from people like screwing JB4 tuners onto their car because like the detonation just like
Oh, it just smashes the rods.
yeah,
right in.
and the stop start's really bad on them too. So nope, they never fixed that.
Okay, never mind then. I will not add that one onto the list.
BMW, the M60, so their first all alloy for the 90s V8. So it was in the 740, the 540, and the 840. They
the
had the
Nikasil.
Nikasil issue. Because in Europe it was fine. They had low sulfur fuel. But in North America we had regular terrible gas. And
Yeah.
it just ate the
Destroys them.
compression lining away. So those like 93 and 94 straight up avoid. BMW warranted like a ton of engines, but there are still some out there. Completely fixed the M60 in 95, and then it turned into the M62 non-Vanos, which is a great engine, ran
Yeah.
through 98, and then every BMW non-MV8 after that has been garbage.
Yes.
But the M60 got fixed, and it turned into a really great engine.
You did not note the Ford flathead
I did not. Why? What's the deal with that one?
because the Ford flathead had.
Oh, the oiling issues.
No, there's the bearings.
Oh, yeah.
They had like the melt-in bearings that you'd have to do.
Babbitt.
Yeah, the Babbitt style bearings. It's a normal adult bearings.
Babbitt bearings are fascinating.
Yeah, terrible design. But I guess it worked.
For a
if you
hit and
needed-
miss implement engine that's spinning at like 100 RPM,
Works great,
Okay.
but not in a Ford V8. So
and they had oiling issues too.
Yes,
the
they did.
pans
And
weren't baffled.
also they didn't have an oil filter until the 50s. So if you actually get a 52 or so, like the EBA or the EAB,
or an APA,
yeah, if you get those, they're actually perfectly reasonable engines.
which is why they're worth so much damn money.
But if you
and I
ever
will never
if you
have
want to
one.
get like a 17, I think it's a 17 bolt head.
Yeah, 17
yeah.
and 21, I think are
Yeah,
the two.
if you get like the 17 bolt early one, good luck. Plus, there's no parts available for it because they just completely changed it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they completely, nothing interchanges.
Yeah, nothing interchanges.
look similar,
They literally, well, it's just every year that they were designing it, they just did such big changes, and then the post-war engines are actually very reliable. So,
I really like the APA and the AB.
so there you go. So
That's-
that is one that is not on that list. I got to add. Yay!
Moving on to a non-yay car, but the Lamborghini Gallardo. When those first came out with the 5-liter,
I want to let you know that Donut Media did like a T-list where they list all the Lamborghini production cars ever.
Yeah.
And the Gallardo and the Huracan were there, and they both put those like middle bottom of the list because they're just normal cars. They're boring. They suck. I
they
love it.
have aspects that are good, and like the Huracan
just
could
Audis.
have been
They're
good.
Audis.
They're worse Audis.
They're just Audis.
Like
That's
the
all they
R8
are.
has a way more spacious interior, and it's way earlier on. They had the 5.2, so it was actually a reliable car. But yeah, the early Gallardo with the 5-liter, I know the people that own these will downplay it to eternity, but they shouldn't.
Well, the
because
people
it's
that
a
also-
big
The
issue.
people that buy these are the people that buy a car just so they can say they own a Lamborghini,
Correct.
and they aren't unique enough to get something cool like a Urraco or a Yalpa or
They're
something.
shopping, they're shopping for the cheapest possible, we'll call it modern Lamborghini,
Yeah,
and
they-
that, let's be honest, is an 04 Gallardo, which you do not want.
They are future Urus owners.
Oh, God.
That's what they are.
Anus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the anus.
Just garbage.
So when those moved to 5.2-liter engines, you could get them with a manual for a couple of years, and those are damn good cars.
Speaking of Lamborghinis, did you know that the name Urraco actually means little bull? It's pretty cute. I actually like that a lot. Jana, did you hear that?
No, I was making sure Lucy wasn't
He's fine.
scratching the couch.
Buddy.
Lamborghini's little baby V8 that they made in the 70s translated to little bull.
I love that.
Very cute.
I just think of the owner's little bull. but
He's
that's-
just playing with his toy. That's what he's playing with.
All right, I'll burn through the rest of this. This is a real oddball, but the Saturn Ion 2.4.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the first 2 years of Ion,
CVT?
the only auto you could get is a GM CVT, and they all broke. In 2006, they retrofitted the 4T45E from like the Grand Am into it, and it's been fine. Also, they were sold with the 5-speed Getrag transaxle, which you should definitely buy instead. Another oddball, the Saab.
1 second, here's one. The Honda 1300, the predecessor to the Accord, which is the Honda air-cooled, is a 1.3-liter air-cooled 4-cylinder.
Was it designed to be air-cooled?
Yes.
Okay.
They designed it to be like the highest performance engine they could make. So they basically made like a
Okay.
racing engine out of it. And it was not reliable. And then Honda spent a lot of money. Real lot of money. Like Volkswagen money from Honda when Honda wasn't that big. Making it reliable. And they did. They made it reliable.
Oh my God.
In like the 1300s that came to America's like the 147 or whatever, like they were reliable, but they almost made Honda go broke.
Oh, so it's the Avon time.
Yeah, it's like the Aventime. Yeah, Honda made it reliable, but that was their last air-cooled car engine, and they were
Why?
like, yeah,
That's strange.
it literally like Soichiro Honda said, we're never, ever doing this again.
It's weird. It's like every manufacturer that's ever done an air-cooled automobile engine.
They
has
get
had
to a
issues.
point and they just go, all right, we can't anymore.
Well, we're this far.
Yeah, I think we can't do it anymore. Like Porsche got to that point even.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, we have to water jacket it.
We have
finally.
to.
Like,
We
let's
finally
let's
have
cool
to do
the
that.
heads now too.
Yeah.
Well, Well, now it's just it's a water-cooled engine.
Oh, it's
deal
just a
with it.
water-cooled engine, yep.
The Saab 900 and 9.3 2.0 turbo, which evolved into the later 2.0s and the 2.3 turbos, which went for like the next decade.
Didn't they also have an integrated transmission as well?
No.
Those are
the 900. Yeah, the 9000.
The 9000, yeah. The
9000
9000 and the 99. Or
it was the 9.3 body, but they had a name for the 9.3 before the
Yeah.
9.3. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
the
the 900s,
9000,
you're right.
yeah.
Those have a transmission that's integral to the oil pan and runs on 5W30,
yes.
which is a terrible idea. So anyway, the early 2.0 Ts are like 1MZ96 sludge bad. The really bad.
Yes.
Like they will plug up and just burn out. But by the end of the run in like the 9.3, the 2.3 turbo and the 9.5, bulletproof. Bad
Yeah.
transmissions, but really great engines.
That's very true.
Next one, the Mitsubishi 4G63. I'm not picking a car, but I'm
It's a
picking the
whole
engine.
Well, because that engine started in 1977 as a single overhead cam carbureted non-turbo engine. Now, people are saying, wait a minute, that's not a 4G63, that's like a 4G92 or something. No, they had a 4G63 single cam non-turbo carbureted version of that came in the Galant Lambda. Then in the Galant Lambda, they made the dual overhead cam turbo, which is the one you know.
Yep.
In the early 80s, that it expanded to the Lancer.
That's why the engine came with its
Turbo.
initial problems, because the Carby non-turbo one could handle the power.
Yes, and then you would run into this issue once they started making like the turbocharged ones, stock power. You test drive it for 100,000 miles, it's bulletproof. You get to about 200,000, and the crank starts jiggling around.
Weird.
Yeah, so they did fix that. And
They
yes,
did, because now you can, I mean, like the last, before Evo 10,
The
like the
Evo
last
9,
Evo 9,
Evo 9,
4G63,
MyVac, yeah.
you can just crank those to eternity, and the engine's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, everything else will break around it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't.
The engine will be fine.
That's
but
why
the whole
I
car
said
will be broken.
the engine, not a
their
specific,
entire
like the
car.
Eclipse.
But what I do like is that actually extends to Hyundai as well. So the 90s era Hyundais, engines outlive the cars all the time. They're extremely reliable. And if you, fun fact, have a, say, Galant VR4, and you want a cheaper, high-performance cylinder head, you can actually run a Hyundai cylinder head on it. And it actually flows better, because it's a different casting.
Yep. Yeah, Hyundai fixed some of the issues retroactively. Like, oh, if we're going to use this engine, we should make it good.
Yeah, so because Hyundai just kind of took their knockdown kit from the 70s and ran with it, and they did make their own, like the Hyundai dual overhead cam, like 4G, like their beta or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
That was actually Hyundai's own architecture. It was just they shared like connecting like head bolts.
And probably
like, the
water
fact that-
jackets and oil galleys. and
Yeah,
stuff.
but the thing is, like, their actual evolution to a dual overhead cam engine was all Hyundai's own engineering, which happened to be almost identical to Mitsubishi's, just because they were using the same engine to make it work.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
how I did it.
interchange still matters too, especially if you're Hyundai in the 90s. So.
Yeah. So
Last one on my list, not even a gas car, Tesla P85s. So the signatures, the 2012 cars,
Okay.
they all had main power unit failures. Really bad.
how?
Bearings.
Oh,
Bearings
wow.
weren't up to the task. Now that performance rear drive unit is making twice the power it did initially, and none of them fail.
Lucifer's
I
very
know.
excited to
He's-
be playing with this teaser wand. I tell you, he loves the teaser
He's
wand.
a good boy.
John Michael is the
Yeah,
teaser
the
teaser
wand is
wand's
named
name.
John Michael.
I just like seeing an active kitty in the background. It's nice. But yeah, that's the end of my list of stuff that like started life not reliable, and then to the company's credit, they fixed it.
I'm trying to think if there's any other glaring vehicles that come to mind.
I thought about
Rotaries.
it a fair bit, but yeah, it's like,
The
oh,
All right, so this is the thing.
yeah.
I would put the Mazda Rotary on there. I'm not going to, though, because the RX-8 exists. But
Yeah, that
I
might have
guess
been let down by
you
its
could
owners a little bit, but
no, that's just the engine. The
Ah.
engines, they can't take anything.
I see.
Like, you put a turbo on them, they blow up
Oh, I
immediately.
knew that,
Yeah, like, it's not just the owners.
The Renesis.
Yeah, like, every tuning shop in the world was, like, trying to do stuff when they just couldn't. Like, it's just not possible. So,
Just put a 20B in it, call it good.
yeah. So there's the Monster Rotary. I think that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I will let you know if I come up with anything else.
We can just add it to the list, and I'll make sure it gets into the
Yeah.
appropriate crevices.
I think we're good on that. However,
Excellent.
what I do want to talk about, speaking of Japanese vehicles,
Yes.
Subaru and Toyota now both have a version of the
Toyobaru GT-BR86Z.
Yeah, that one. Because the BRZ, as we knew, was released and was shown in America. However, Toyota also showed the 86. They do look different.
They do. So the
They've got-
headlights are the same. Obviously,
They've got different bumpers.
they have different hood,
vastly
different bumper.
bumpers.
Yeah. I mean,
The hoods are the same, I think. I think it's just a difference in color and
Really?
lighting. Yeah, because
I was gonna say these are like really deep creases.
but that's also silver and that's white. I think it's just
Sure.
the photo washes it out. If you scroll down a little bit, I bet there's additional photos. There you go. Yeah, there's
okay.
yeah,
I
there's
thought
same
that's
hood, just different front ends. But yeah, they're very similar. They brought back Toyota Super Red, which is reminiscent to like the 886 MR2 Reds. Pretty cool, I guess. I
I'm
like
sure
it
they'll be
more.
good cars.
I do like it more, and a lot of people are complaining about it. They're like, it looks so normal. I'm like, you're right, it does look normal.
Good.
I don't
It's
want.
a very practical manual transmission, lightweight rear-wheel drive vehicle.
I want it to look normal, so more people buy them. Like, because that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be a normal car that's fun to drive.
I mean, the first gen one sold fine. I hope this one does too.
Well, they're both cars are powered by the 2.4-liter Subaru engine. Output is specified at 232 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. However, apparently some people say that the BRZ is going to have 228 horsepower, but that's apparently not accurate. It might not be
They
true.
have
It
to
might
have
be
the
true.
same tune.
Yeah. But no, it's really cool. I'm really excited to see it. And I like this body style way more. It looks so much better.
Is this lighter than the first gen? 2,800 pounds? I thought the first gen was like 29 something.
The current base model of the 8.6 is 2776.
Okay.
They're trying to keep them around 2,800 pounds.
That's pretty good.
So
I
they're
thought
both
these were
like enough.
3,000 on the first gen, so that's nice.
No, I think like fully loaded, if you get every single bell and whistle on the BRZ, it can like touch 3. But I mean, like, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm not mad at all.
No, I mean, I wish I was more enthusiastic about these, because I should be. Because it's a really big deal that these
it's
exist.
the engine. It just gets me. I
Yeah.
just know that they had so many problems with the first gen.
The FA20 had some issues, and the FB24, I'm not sure if that's going to be better, because I mean, I assume it's still going to have the same front timing
I'm
case.
sure it'll be better, but
but
it's
I'm sure-
also it's not 2030 yet. Like
Subaru has probably revised that part number like 5 or 10 times already, but
I think I like the rear end more of the Subaru.
I think so too. But it's hard to tell with the colors.
Yeah, I think I like the Subaru.
The grill is much better on the Toyota in the front, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I do like the grill on the Toyota. I'd go with the Toyota actually. Yeah, I may go with the Toyota.
See, at that
The Toyota.
angle, the rear on the Toyota looks okay.
Yeah, I like the rear. They also have a heck window
Do they?
on the
Oh,
Toyota.
kinda. Yeah, it's a little line that runs at the top. between
But
the taillights.
it counts.
It's a racetrack lighting like a Durango.
It's the thing is, I'm happy that they're coming back, and they should
Yep.
just do an entire bar of taillights on all cars. All
No,
cars
they
look better with them.
shouldn't. No, but
I can't think of a car that looks worse. That looks worse with a heck window.
stuff that it just doesn't fit on.
I just can't
Which
think
is
of one.
most cars. That's fine.
I can't think of one because every car I think of that looks like way better.
That's just like saying new survey points to the fact that drinking coffee chocolate will improve your Lucy. Kitty was going for it.
Yeah, he wants to go
improves your heart health or something like that. You can always find data to support your claim.
Yes, I can. You're right. I'm very good at finding my own data to support my own claim. But all
Hey,
right,
buddy.
I think that is a high point to end on before we find any depressing news to talk about.
Sounds good. Let's go corral the cat, and we'll see you guys
Yes.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.